I just want to say, give a shout out to my MDK gang. Give a shout out to all my boys locked up in the cells, and give a shout out to my hate club. Rest in peace, Big Nate Hatred, and rest in peace, my brother Justice Payne, man.
Rewind, recap, relive for over 50 episodes.
The revolutionary force in wrestling interview.
This is Nick Gage. I represent the Murder, Death, Kill gang. You're watching Rewind, Recap, Relive. Tell you what, Johnny, you're looking sharp right now, man.
Our first guest returns to the show after 2 years. He's had a lot of success since then that we'll get into. He's the game changer of professional wrestling from the city of hardcore. Please welcome Philly Mike Swanson.
What up? What up? What up?
Philly Mike.
We back, baby. We're back.
That's my boy.
He's back. I love it. And our next guest, I mean, he needs no introduction. If you've seen any of his matches, you know the ultra violence that he personifies, the leader of the MDK gang. He's the man, the king, the god of this shit. Please welcome Nick effing Gage.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
What's going on? So, Nick, it's awesome to have you on right before you head out to StarCast too, right?
Yeah. Fired up for StarCast 5. I just love the StarCast. You know, it's not my first one.
Right.
What I like about the StarCast is I like to meet all the fans, you know, the meet and greets and all that stuff. And also, it is Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah.
So I grew up on Ric Flair. I grew up on NWA. So Ric Flair and NWA wanted me to become a wrestler, you know, just watching all that stuff. So it's just going to be an awesome weekend. And GCW got the show right after the Ric Flair roast. So I'm fired up for that. Yeah.
Could we expect you in the Ric Flair roast by any chance? Or no, probably not.
I don't know, man. You know, I've talked to Conrad on that. Conrad's my boy. He's down with the MDK gang. So I don't know. If he wants me there, I would definitely be there. But I will definitely probably be there live checking it out. I don't know if I'll be on stage asking Ric Flair questions, you know.
Right.
But I would definitely be there watching that shit.
No, that's awesome. I can't wait to see you there. I'm definitely gonna watch your show. And Mike, as I said, cool to have you back. And just something that relates to you. I mean, news just broke today that WrestleMania and all the week events are coming to your territory, WrestleMania 40. How do you feel about that?
Hell yeah, WrestleMania coming back to Philly, baby. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's been a long while. And with the way the indie scene is right now, I'm excited to see how Mania weekend is shaping around Philly and Jersey area. You know, we did in Jersey City a couple years ago, but Philly ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, we run that area. You know, Mike.
You know,
GCW runs it. GCW runs the whole country right now.
Exactly, taking over the whole area now.
Completely taking over. Well, Mike, for people who who missed your last episode, remind us how you got into professional wrestling. What was that moment that wanted you to take the leap into it?
It wasn't like one specific moment. It was just the overall idea of it, you know, like real life superheroes, larger than life. I love the whole environment, atmosphere, the hypeness that surrounds wrestling crowds and stuff like that. It gets me excited every time. That's why like GCW weekends and stuff, when Nick comes out, the crowd's hype. It's stuff like that. It's nothing compares to it to me. Like no other sporting event, no other event you can go to, a concert. It's all of that brought into one single event. So that's what there was no one specific moment. It was just the overall environment and atmosphere of wrestling.
No, it's unlike. Yeah, exactly. And to throw it to you, Nick, same question. How did you actually get into wrestling? What attracted you to it at first?
Well, what attracted me was, you know, I grew up on pro wrestling. My dad was a big wrestling fan. So we would go over his house and we would watch 605, NWA every weekend. I grew up on wrestling. I loved wrestling, but I kind of fell out of love with it. But once I ran into ECW, that's when I said, you know what? I want to do this shit. And we wrestled in the backyard. We put on shows. Fans paid tickets to come see us. We had a hot dog stand. We had T-shirts. We sold them in our high school. We sold videos in our high school. But I remember the first time we rented a ring. We said it was our friend's birthday. It wasn't his birthday at the Monster Factory. And I got in that ring, man, and I just realized, man, I just love this shit. And, once I started learning how to wrestle, went to Japan for 3 years and learned my craft. And once I got in front of the fans, I just love it. I love everything about it. I love the acting part. I love the selling part. I love the fight. I love the death match. I love the technical wrestling. I just love everything about it. I feel like I was put on this earth to become a fucking wrestler, man. So I got into it with Combat Zone Wrestling. John Zandig, he didn't have a company yet. He just had a school. And somehow our backyard tape got in the hands of John Zandig. So he invited us all down to try out. Well, I missed the first tryout because I had baseball. I was playing baseball at the time. And I came home. My brother and me got in a fist fight because I missed the kid training session. I couldn't find the shit. So I went back the next day and we took our bumps, man, and it came natural. And then, I had my first match within like 3 months against Tweaker Ramirez at NWA New Jersey. And I don't know, man. Just everything about pro wrestling I love. I love the crowd. I love the interaction with the crowd. Now that I'm, I'm a little bit older now.
Yeah.
What I really love to see is the younger generation. Really, especially my friends that are coming up and tearing the house down. And I built CZW from the ground up. And I helped build GCW from the ground up. And now I'm, a little bit older with GCW. I get to watch all this young talent at GCW that gets me motivated to go out there and tear shit up, So
Definitely.
For me, watching younger talent, it makes me go in the gym, work hard, stay dedicated, work my ass off, be ready, man, because in GCW, you got to go out there and you got to be ready, man. If you get in that ring and you're not ready, man, them wrestlers are going to tear you up. So that's it, man.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. So, Mike, for you, your inspirations growing up, I would love to know who they were, but did it shift when you wanted to get more into that hardcore side of things?
Yes and no. Like coming out, like as a kid, I was always into Edge and Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles.
Awesome.
The athletic guys, but also the guys that were great with promos and the acting aspect of it. But like once I started to shift and like get into more of the indies, a big one that I always go to is Mike Quackenbush. Quackenbush always stood out to me as like the best technical and athletic high flyer, whatever you want to, overall well-based wrestler that I was into. So he was way different character from what I was usually shifting to. But I always loved ECW. So getting into like the hardcore with CZW and GCW and all that, it wasn't too far-fetched for me. Like it was the same idea, but going in the modernizing it and the evolution of the style, I guess you can say.
I'll tell you what, Philly, Mike, I don't mean to cut you off, but Mike Quackenbush, Reckless Youth, Tom Carter, And Don Montoya used to come down to the CZW wrestling school and train us. So I was kind of trained by Mike Quackenbush and Reckless Youth. If you know Reckless Youth, Tom Carter
Yep.
and Don Montoya, they used to come down to the CZW school. And one thing that Mike Quackenbush told me and Tom Carter told me is a wrestler who wrestles every week is going to be a better wrestler than wrestles once a month, man. And that stuck with me to today. You know, so that's one thing you could learn, man. Anytime you have an opportunity to get a booking or get in that ring in front of a live crowd, you accept that, man. Maybe the money might be low, Philly Mike, right now, but the money will come later, man. Learn your skills, learn your craft, man. Perfect that. So by the time you get up to that status where it's time for you to show your skills, you'll be ready for it. And then the money will start coming in, you know? So I just wanted to let you know that, Philly Mike.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it, Nick.
Yeah.
Quackenbush was my first trainer, too, actually. I started at the Wrestle Factory. That's where I got my original training at. But it was just I always liked I always favored the heels as a just because they had more depth to the character to me, and so like Edge, Punk, guys like that is who I shifted to it coming up.
And no wrong with them guys, man. All three of them guys are Hall of Famers.
Absolutely. And, you know, both of you, I mean, so much passion. Obviously, everybody knows it, but it sounds, you know, just incredible. And I wanted to know for you, Nick, because you're in such obviously a violent scene, the deathmatch scene. What is it that keeps you going with a scene like that? Like, it's obviously passion, but what more is it? What's going through your head when you're going out to deathmatch?
Yeah, as you say, it's passion. I love it. I feel like I'm the king. I'm the god of this shit. So I want to back that up. So I will face anybody, anywhere, anytime. I love that it's me versus another man, and who could take the most pain? Who could, you know what I mean? Take that pain, man. Because when you get in a death match and you start rolling in that glass, and I'm talking about real glass. I'm not talking about that AEW fake glass. I'm not talking about that fucking fake bar wire they use. I'm talking about GCW real shit, where the bar wire is real, the glass is real, and that shit starts cutting you up. Are you going to quit? Or are you going to continue to keep battling and battling and battling? You know, and that's something I fell in love with. And that's one thing I love about deathmatch wrestling. Now it's becoming an art. And when I got locked up and when I was in prison, I made it my fucking objective to come out and put that shit back on the map. But not only put it back on the map, make it an art form, another style of wrestling. That's what I wanted to do. And I feel like I accomplished that because now the deathmatch wrestlers are wrestlers. They could go in there and have a wrestling match, but also they can have a death match also. It's not like the 90s or like the early 2000s where a bunch of fat guys or other guys would just hit each other over the head and that's it. Now you're seeing guys be creative. You're seeing guys be fucking technical in the ring with fucking light tubes and fucking doors and everything, Jonah. And it makes me so proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just love that about
definitely. That. No, you're absolutely achieving your goal for 100% of making it an art form. I mean, you see everyone getting into it now, and I'd love to hear you touch on it a bit with how it was in the beginning. But going back to when you broke into the business, what was the scene of deathmatch wrestling like firsthand? What you experienced?
It was very hated on, so nobody liked it. But you know, I fell in love with it, man. But it was very frowned upon. You know what I mean? It was called garbage wrestling. No one liked it, but you know, I liked it, but I made it my objective to be able to wrestle. Like I wanted to be able to do everything. If I don't have a death match this week and I have to get in the ring and wrestle a fucking regular wrestling match, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I take pride on becoming all around good wrestler. That I could do the death matches. I could do the regular wrestling. I could do, well, I don't know about high flying. I'm more of a grappler, Jonah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
big fan of technical wrestling, right?
I love technical wrestling. It's my
Yeah.
favorite of all time. I grew up on tape trading. You guys might be a little too young for that, but tape trading and I would used to get a lot of Japanese tapes, Super Juniors, all that. I loved all that stuff. But I felt like my best art form, my best way was I was a really good deathmatch wrestler. So I just took that path and, kept going with it.
Absolutely. Mike, for you, was your first match a hardcore match, or did that come later in your career?
No, it came later on. It was felt like going through a car crash. You can't lie, but like the adrenaline, the rush, all of it, like, and it was for me. It was the end of a big feud, so we got to tell that great story, and it was the culmination of a rivalry. So that's why I got into it, and I wanted to get into it. I wanted that. I didn't want to be a deathmatch guy or a hardcore guy that does them for no reason, and just I want to be able to tell that story and have that just tell the story to the match, whether it's the first time we're meeting or it's the culmination of a feud. It's I don't just want to go in there and hit each other with shit and just make a mockery of it,
Right.
So yeah, it was the finish was a superplex off the top through a light tube door, and yeah, to say it felt like going through a car crash is an understatement. But the feeling afterwards, the thrill, I'll do it every weekend if I could.
Who was that against, Philly, Mike?
Vinny
Okay.
out in Jersey.
Yeah, I know Vinny.
Yep, it was a good time, man. But I want to do more. I've got to dip my toes into it here and there, but I want more. I want to get into it as much as I can, and I love the art of deathmatch. Like Nick was saying, it's an art form. It's not just a style to me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good guys out there. Philly Mike, man, all you got to do is stay dedicated, work hard, man, and just keep following your passion, bro, and it will pay off. It will pay off, man.
Thank you.
No.
And maybe this deathmatch scene isn't for every wrestler. So Nick, for you, have you ever been in a deathmatch with somebody who was nervous beforehand?
Yeah, a couple guys.
Couple of them?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of their names, man. I'm bad with names. I've been wrestling so many people, man. Yeah, a couple of them. It just, I try to tell them that, I'm really good at what I do, but you're gonna, what are you gonna do, man? You're gonna get cut. You're gonna bleed. You're gonna do this and stuff like that. But there's been a couple guys nervous, especially for the first time ever doing it. But I try to calm them down a little bit.
What does that look like, Nick Gage, trying to calm someone down like that? What are those words of wisdom you give someone before you head out there?
It's the other way around. It's like, let's fucking go, man.
Oh yeah, other way
around. And then their juices start firing up, and let's go tear this house down. And let's get this crowd going loud, man. Let's make some noise. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I still get butterflies, man. So I know I love this shit. I know, I was born to do this shit, and I try to tell the other guys that too,
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be awesome, man. And we're going to tear the house down. Trust me. And then I think once they get out there and they hear the crowd and then the adrenaline starts going, they start getting more a little comfortable into the match,
Yeah.
I mean, look at Matt Cardona. He never wrestled a match in his life, man. He went out there and we had one of the best death match
Killed
wrestlers.
it.
Yes. And I don't like the guy at all, but I have to give him his respect. He stood in there. I carved him up. I smashed him. Once I lost that match, that one really hurt, man. I kind of took some time off after that one. I'm training right now, and
I see you in the gym. You're looking good.
Yes, man. Yeah. It's comeback season, Joe, and I'm ready to fucking come back.
No days
I'm ready
off.
to get my fucking belt back, and I'm ready to fucking smash the people, and you can't just come back. You can't just take time off and then think you're gonna hop back in the GCW and everything's gonna be fine. No, you got to get back in the training mode. You got to get back in the cardio mode. You got to get everything set. So when I do go in there, I'm at the top of my game,
Definitely. And so, Mike, being the first person to come back on the show after these 2 years, I'm curious what type of competitor you are now versus then. If you had to not sum up everything, obviously, these past 2 years, but just overall, do you feel like you've gotten a lot of experience?
Oh yeah, compared to 2 years ago, I'm not even the same person at all in any aspect. Like, not the way I look at wrestling, in every aspect is nowhere near the same. I feel like I'm better performer, like smarter performer, and just I don't know, it's hard to put the right words to it, but just watch it when I do watch matches back from 2 years ago. I can't believe what I'm watching. Basically, it's
night and day. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
you're starting to get comfortable in the ring.
Exactly.
You're starting to gain confidence.
Yep.
And all that shit's starting to come together. And once you start putting that shit all together, Philly Mike, man, you're gonna start taking off, man. Sky's the limit for you, Philly Mike.
Thank you, brother.
No problem, man. You know how I feel about you, Philly Mike. You're a good dude, man. And I run that locker room with GCW, man. And anytime anybody needs a question or anybody asks me anything, man, I give it to them straight,
Yes, sir.
It's the only way you can learn. I can't be fake. I can't say, Philly Mike, man, he's awesome. And then go talk to somebody over there and say, man, Philly Mike sucks. No, I got to help you out, say maybe you did something wrong here, but maybe you did something awesome here and try to help out,
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it, Nick. Always.
And that's why, Jonah, that's why I love GCW right now. Our locker room is so awesome that guys will help other guys out. They will talk to each other. There's no negativity at all in that locker room. It's all positivity. It's all guys saying, you know what? I'm going to go out there and have the best match. No, I'm going to go out there and have the best match. And they're all feeding off each other.
Yeah.
And, and that's why I love that company, man.
Great, great segue, because I was going to ask if somebody had never, ever watched GCW, if they were watching other forms of wrestling and they stumbled upon GCW, how would you describe it to them to get them to watch it, tell them what it's all about, GCW?
Oh, man, it's very simple. We do about everything. Some is comparison to the old ECW, but I think there's a lot more. There's a lot of great wrestling. You're gonna get blood. You're gonna get death matches. You're gonna get high flying. You're gonna get a little bit of everything. In GCW, You're going to get creativity. I think Lauderdale, the booker, I think the way he puts the matches together, the way he brings in talent, I think it's top notch. It's just, and you know what? Every time I tell a wrestler, it's just a fun place to work at. Thanks to the MDK gang, that means the crowd out there. They set the tempo, and then the wrestlers are so on top of their game. They're so fired up that they go out there, man, and they set the tempo the first match, and then it just keeps going, man. And I love it. And also, we are traveling every single weekend. This has never been done before. No independent company has ever traveled like we have.
Yeah.
And trust me, we're an independent company. We started from scratch. There was no money guy. There was nobody saying, here's the money, go start a company. Lauren now started from scratch with Danny DeMano. And then I came out of jail, and then, when I put the final touches to that. And it's never been done, if you can really think about it. It's just independent run. Now we're traveling the whole country. We're traveling the whole world. We'll be in Liverpool soon. We already did GCW Japan. It's just GCW Mexico, GCW almost every state. We're traveling every weekend. And so what that does is that gives the younger talent like Philly Mike or other guys like young Nick Wayne or Jordan Oliver or I could just go, the list goes on. That gives them guys so much ring time because they're wrestling every weekend, 3 times a week, and they're mastering their craft at such a young age. When I was coming in, I would wrestle maybe once or twice a month. Besides when I had the contract with Japan. Other than that, independent wrestling was just different, And now you have GCW, you have guys in there, and they're wrestling their asses off every weekend. So, if you wrestle every weekend, you're going to get better at your craft.
Mike, perfect person to have here for the other side of it, what Nick's talking about right now, the young people honing in on their craft. What do you think about your experience with GCW on the ring crew and everything?
Oh, it's the same thing Nick is saying. There's nothing that compares right now. There's when I always tell people, if you've never seen GCW, come out to a show, check it out, order the show on pay-per-view. Once you watch one show, you're going to be hooked, and there's no going back. You're going to find something in the 2 or 3 hours, however long the show is, that you're going to love, and it's going to reel you in. And being there live, nothing compares to it, the atmosphere. So it's just, I always look forward to GCW weekends more than anything, obviously. It's something insane is always going to happen, whether it's like watching a history in the making moment right there live, or somebody shows up that's unexpected, like a Cardona, or it's always edge of your seat wrestling. I like to say you're always on the edge of your seat. There's not a boring moment.
No, I agree, and I agree that GCW should be watched live. If anybody's listening to this, or anybody's going to hear this podcast, which I'm pretty sure there will be, you got to go to a live event at GCW. 100%. It's nothing like it.
And Nick, you said something earlier. Was GCW started when you were actually in jail?
So what I wanted to do when I got out of prison the first time is I wanted to get back to the fans, because they wrote me when I was in prison with letters nonstop for the 4.5 years I was locked up. They just kept writing me letters. So I wanted to get back to the fans. So I said, well, one way to get back to the fans, they give them a deathmatch tournament. And that's how the NGI 1 Nick Gage Invitational came about. But of course, I got locked up the day before. for being a dumbass. The Nick Gage invitation was so, it was awesome. It turned out so good that, Lauren I'll say, we got something here. And he started building GCW slowly but surely. And when I was locked up, I had a DVD player. So he would sneak me DVDs in, and I will watch. Yeah, I will watch it. Where I had a phone, so I could watch it on the phone. And he was slowly building the company up, and because when I got out of prison the first time and I went to CZW, I was like, this is horrible. This is this sucks.
What was different about it?
Just everything. Everybody in the locker room wasn't talking to each other. They were just scattered around. You could see guys are just there because it's CZW. They want to make a name for themselves, so they're just using the company. I started that company, man. I loved that company. I died for that company. Literally died for that company. And to go there and watch just the aura in the locker room and all that shit, it just sucked, man. And I didn't like it. So the second time I got out, we had GCW, and it felt like the old CZW. It just did, man. The atmosphere was awesome. We had Game Changer World, which was an arena we started at. We had the fans in the back, barbecuing, drinking, doing all that like it used to be at CZW where they banned all that stuff. And it felt great, man. It felt like I was back in the old CZW ways. And so yeah, that sucked with CZW, and then you got a dumbass owner who DJ Hyde who likes to lie and says he talks to me, and he sent me letters when I was locked down and all that stuff. All that shit's false. The two people who were by my side nonstop was Brett Lauderdale and my wife, Sanj. Shout out to Sanj. You seen her on the documentary. Masada came up. Homicide came up and visited me. Rest in peace, Danny Havoc came up and visited me. But, the two people who are by my side nonstop was Brett Lauderdale and my wife. And, to this day, me and Brett are still rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah, you are. Bigger than ever, yeah. I mean, day by day, GCW is getting huge.
Just proud of it, man. And, to see one of my best friends, get the acknowledgement that he deserves, He always had a brain for this, and, to start seeing it, it's just awesome. I'm not a hater. I'm a gratulator, and I love when I see my friends succeed, man. So
for sure. Nick, there's a specific question, of course, everybody asks about the David Arquette match, and I've heard you talk about it. But my question for you is, have you used the mattress yet that I've heard you say he gave you as a gift?
The mattress is over in my corner, still in the box. Yeah, I haven't used it at all. It's been sitting there for 2 years, a year now. I don't know how long that match has been.
Is it too far to show us? Could you point the camera at it? No, don't get up.
I'll get up. It's buried under stuff. So let's see. It's got shit on top of shit. That is the box right there. You see the label right there?
Yeah.
That is the mattress label. That's the box. I just got stuff on top of it and stuff, But that's the famous David Arquette mattress. They sent me to use my footage for the documentary. So that's a king size too.
It's a king size, nice.
King, yeah. And if you're gonna give me a mattress, you're gonna give me a king size.
The best.
I want to use my footage.
Such a random gift. Did you say you needed a mattress?
Well, yeah, I'll give you the whole story. Is call me up one day or text me or call me, and I said, "Well, how much you gonna pay me to use my footage?" You know what I mean? You know, and he's like, "Well, we don't pay for documentaries." Well, I'm pretty sure you're gonna make money off your documentary, correct? So, I think our match was a pretty big deal in your documentary. So I was like, all right, well, no, you can't use the footage if you're not going to pay me. So they called me. He kept calling me. He kept calling me. And then the wife started calling me. The wife started calling me, stalking me. And I'm like, well, how much you going to pay me? And they keep saying no. But then they're like, well, we can't give you a gift. And they're like, well, how about a mattress? And I'm like, a mattress? I was like, okay, I'll take a mattress. Yeah. And they sent me a king size mattress to my house, and it's been sitting over in that corner with a bunch of shit on top of it since I got it. So,
I mean, good deal, I guess, right? You know, I mean, if you're going to use it eventually.
Well, I love my bed right now, but I figure once my bed goes, you know, I got a backup mattress right there.
That's it. You know, you got it saved for David Arquette.
I'll tell you what, this though, Jonah, it better not be the shit.
After all this time, can you imagine?
Yeah, it better be fucking comfortable, or me and David are probably going to see each other again.
I mean, and this is, I was going to ask, you know, I heard you say he was doing great until he freaked out in that moment. If you ever had the opportunity, would you go at him again?
Oh, a deathmatch?
Yeah.
Oh, he don't want no part of me in a deathmatch ever again. He made that perfectly clear.
He did. He did definitely make that clear. Yeah.
Yeah. I made TMZ like 3 times over that thing.
You were everywhere.
Yeah. You know, thank God I've been doing this for a while, because once I seen the cut on his neck, I was able to see that it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
He was just bugging out because he's never been in a situation or these matches before. But, you know, he gave me a cutter through light tubes with my neck. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. So, you know, be honest with you, I haven't talked to him about it ever. When a match got done, he hopped in some car and took off.
Right?
And you know, he was way over his head, I guess. You know, what am I supposed to do, Jonah? Take it easy on him because he's an actor? And then next week I got somebody like Schlack. You know what I mean? Where am I going to take it easy on the actor and then have to go hard with Schlack or Alex Colon or any other of these awesome deathmatch warriors out there, man? No, I'm going to bring you to fucking pain like I bring everybody else. You know, I got a reputation to uphold. You know, once I started really bringing it to him, that's when he started really like, whoa, you know, I might have fucked up here.
Mike, as I said, a lot of wrestlers, and including, you know, someone like David Arquette, not even a wrestler, hopping into the deathmatch hardcore scene recently. Are there any specifically out there that you'd like to face who maybe aren't the hardcore type?
The people that don't usually dip into the scene, I don't know. I like that one person I'll put over that that has jumped into the scene hard recently that I love is Cole Radrick. He's really jumped in a deathmatch scene and just taken it by storm. It's insane.
The Ratty Daddy.
Hell yeah. But people that don't usually do it, I like one guy who does deathmatch here and there that people I don't think realize is JTG. He jumps in and does some with VXS. He helps in there sometimes and does some deathmatch. His matches are always entertaining. So
he's all for it too.
Yeah, exactly. He gets into it. So I think that's pretty cool. He's an unexpected one.
That's really cool.
I was just supposed to wrestle JTG in a death match before I tore my calf muscles. Because
Shit.
some promoter wanted to put a ring apron on. It was too big for the ring, and ripped my calf muscles. Yeah, we all know about that, Philly Mike.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't
Billy
throw no
Mike
names
wouldn't do
out
that
there.
if he was setting
Nope.
that up, right?
Nope.
No, man. We don't have that bullshit going on at GCW.
Nope.
Nick, same question for you,
Yeah.
because I know you're fan of a lot of different types of wrestling. So is there anybody out there who doesn't typically do hardcore wrestling that you'd want to lock it up with?
Oh man, let's see.
Past or present too. Feel free, anybody.
Past or present?
Yeah.
I would love to wrestle The Undertaker. That would probably be a fucking awesome one. I'm a big Undertaker fan. I would love to wrestle Shawn Michaels. I would love to wrestle Bret Hart. These are just top-notch guys that I would love to be in the ring with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today's, I would love to wrestle Bandito. I'm a really big fan of Bandito.
So good.
I like JT Dunn. I'm a big fan of him. Let's see. God, man, there's so many fucking good guys these days. I would like to wrestle Kevin Owens when he's like now.
Yeah.
I wrestled him when he was in CZW, and I always was a big fan of him when he was in CZW. He says I'm the only guy who was actually nice to him in CZW, so I would love to wrestle a guy like that.
That'd be awesome.
I would love to wrestle what's his name? The House of Black.
Alistair?
Yeah.
Or Malachi, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I known him from back in the day in Germany. We did a show together. So I would love to wrestle him. I would love to wrestle Pac.
I'm
a big fan of Pac right now. I would love to get in the ring with Danielson. These are just guys that I love, and I feel like if I would train hard and just keep working hard, that I can hang with these guys. And I'm also a big fan of these guys. I would love to get in the ring with Red Death, Daniel Garcia. I grew up with. I didn't grow up. I was shared a lot of locker rooms with Garcia. And I just love what he's doing at AEW right now. I wrestled Jericho already in a real death match, which was awesome. Which was the main event, and we drew 1 million viewers.
That's so cool. So cool to see you doing that.
8,000 to 10,000 people. And I went into that wrestling match for all the deathmatch guys who they said this shit's garbage. All the guys that never got their respects and all that. I went in that match for them guys, man. That was what was on my mind. And I went in there and carved his ass up. I turned the pizza cutter into something.
Yeah, you did.
Now it's like a famous thing. We just came out with my own figures, the majorpodcast.com. We came out with the Bendies, Major Bendies, where you have a blood Nick Gage and a regular Nick Gage, but they both had the pizza cutter. Yeah. Also, a pro wrestling tees. We have the micro brawlers.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for someone who grew up and loved wrestling his whole life, to have an action figure, I guess you would call it, or a wrestling figure named after me, just makes me so proud, man. And it's amazing how far my career has gone since I have got out of prison, man. My career is just on an uprise.
It's skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're on a flight tomorrow, like we said, to StarCast. Like that's amazing.
Nashville. I am fired up.
Nashville, yeah. Oh my
fired
God,
up, man.
It was so cool to see you on that big stage of AEW too. I want to definitely get into that, but I was gonna say Moxley on that dark side of the ring. He called you one of the best storytellers out there in wrestling, bar none. And it's clear, right? Your connection to the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could compete with it. Just, do you have any advice for anyone trying to connect with the crowd, getting into wrestling right now. How did you accomplish that?
So when I was locked up, it gave me time to really think about wrestling. Okay, so it gave me time to realize what my character was, how my character should be. I also realized that when you're in the ring, you can make emotional connection with one person. Maybe look them in the eyes or something like that, and then maybe another part of the crowd will feed off that connection you make with that person. It's an art form that you got to learn yourself. I can't just tell you how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you got to find who you are and what type of character you want to be, and that's how you have to take it from there. I just I'm so good at it. It just comes second nature to me.
You're very good at it. Yeah, I mean, seriously, if not one of the best.
Oh,
Mike,
thank you, man.
No problem. Mike, for you, I remember in your last time you were on the show, you talked a lot about how you interact with the crowd yourself during the matches to get them to hate you, to get that reaction. So I'd love to hear any thoughts on what Nick just said.
I agree with the same thing. How he said, look at one person, pinpoint one person, maybe the crowd will feed off of that or something. It's just, the crowd is there for a show, so make them part of the show. Basically, it's that simple. There's a lot of guys that just go in there and go through the motions of wrestling. They're just wrestling. You're having a wrestling match. We can all do that. We're wrestlers. Anybody that knows how to do this can do that. But get over with the crowd and interact with the crowd. And that's what I always loved when I was a fan going to shows as a kid. I always remember the wrestlers that pointed me out, that would look at me and make me involved over everything else, any move that I saw on the show. So that's what I always stuck with, just make the fans part of the show. That's what they're there for. They're there for a show.
Entertainment.
So Nick, what you eating there?
You
got yogurt? Oh, ice cream. Nice. Good.
Yeah, it's my I eat right so good, but ice cream's my kind of
your comfort.
Yeah, it's just not good, man. But
it's your downfall.
I can't get it out of my diet yet. I get everything else out of my diet right now because I'm training really, really, really hard. And for some reason my wife wants to keep buying gallons of ice cream and keeping them in my house. So I might have to kick her out of the house for a month so no ice cream gets in here until I'm done training,
Yeah. Nick, how did you and your wife meet, if you don't mind me asking?
We met in high school, man. Nice. So I was walking down a hallway and I seen a girl and she just looked beautiful, and I knew her girlfriends, and I asked her, who's that? And they told me who it was. And I invited her over to my house with a friend of mine, and the friend of mine was making out with his girl, and me and my wife were just sitting there doing nothing. So I'm like, all right, well, you gotta go. So I kicked her out of the house. And then, we started talking on the phone, and then she came over for one of the WWE or St. Valentine's Day Massacre show, and she sat on my lap, and we've been together since, man. So she's been my rock. And, when I went down, she held everything down. Visit me. Didn't hold nothing against me, and just been together since. I love her to death, and we get along great. We barely fight. We laugh all the time, So, and I'll tell you one thing. This guy right here, cancel culture is not getting this guy right here because he already has a beautiful wife. Watch out for some of them girls out there, man. They're trying to trick some of them guys out there. Not saying some of them guys don't deserve that. But, some of them girls are trying to get these guys canceled, man, and it's really getting out of hand. But if you do your dirt and it comes alive, man, it's on you. That's why I always keep it real, man. I always treat people the way I want to be treated. I always tell people to be yourself. Always surround yourself with people that love you for who you are, and find your passion, man, and do it at 100% with hard work and dedication. That's what I live by. That's the MDK way. And I'm a strong believer in that.
All such good stuff. And, really happy. That was a really cool meeting with you and your wife. I love that wrestling played a part in it.
And she loves wrestling too. So,
of course.
It was great. Yeah. I took her on a date one time and she was a big Triple H fan, right?
Yeah.
So this is back in the day when wrestlers used to do like the mall signings, at like the carts and stuff. So I was on the second balcony and she was meeting Triple H and I was spitting and I almost hit Triple H with spit because I didn't like him at all.
Well, from one relationship, to another, Nick, I'd love to hear about your time with Jon Moxley. Obviously, so many battles, so many moments. Where did it start? Do you remember first meeting him and how has it developed over time?
Well, so I first met him. That was Sammy Callahan's friend from Ohio. So, we're going back, man. I've been hitting with a lot of steel chairs, but I'll try my best. He just came at CZW, man, and he was laid back. He was cool. I got to really know him when we went on Germany, when we went over to Germany on that tour. And we just kicked it, drank some beers together. And we wrestled elite. We had 1 million matches before he went to the WWE. So it was always fun wrestling him. I know he's going to bring it 100%. He's a tough dude. I do love that, like, he came back and still wanted to do death matches and stuff like that. I love that he does his own thing. I guess I first met him in 2004, 5. Wow. I want to say.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say, how was that match for you? The last one you guys had for the belt.
It was good. It was okay. I just feel like I wasn't on top of my game, but I'm in the zone right now, Joan, and I'm on top of my motherfucking game right now. And I feel like I can get in the ring with anybody right now. I was GCW champ for 2 years, and I love that belt, and I want to try to win that belt back. I don't know when. I don't know if I have another match in me. I don't know yet. I haven't made a decision yet, on my career. I'm pretty much just training and laying back and watching the shows. But we'll find out,
Oh, yeah. No, we will. We'll find out for sure. Mike, if somebody wanted to really learn what Philly Mike is all about, what would you recommend matches they should check out? Some special matches to you?
I mentioned that match earlier, Vincenzo. Me against Vincenzo is one of them. This past weekend I actually wrestled the SAT. So that was a fun one.
SAT's awesome, man.
Hell, dude, it was
Shout
awesome.
out to the SAT. They're my boys.
Dude, they were awesome. It was a great time. I wrestled this guy, Matt Quay. He's a guy who wrestles out here in PA. He's a good up and coming dude. I had one of my best matches against him, I would definitely say. But yeah, I feel like lately more now than ever I've been having good roll of matches going. So I've been proud of the last couple ones I've been having. So you can check them all out on YouTube, Philly Mike, Easy to find.
You are getting better and better, Philly Mike. I will give you that, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Just stay the course, man. Stay zoned in. If this is what you want to do with your life, man, then you got to consume this, man. Everything's got to be wrestling, man. And give it hard work, dedicated, get in the gym, work hard, man.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of regret it a little bit because some part of my career, I kind of didn't really feel like wrestling no more, but I just wrestled to get a paycheck. And I kind of fell out of love with it, and I didn't take it as serious as I should, But once I went to prison and they took it away from me, man, I realized that I love this business so much that that I want to do it the rest of my life. God willing.
Walking into AEW now on that, when you went in there and went up against Jericho, what was it like being, well, first of all, backstage in a company like that, such a big company, and then just walking out and experiencing that atmosphere? Was that the biggest crowd you ever been in front of?
No, I wrestled in front of, let's see, I would say 18,000 in Japan.
Okay, right.
But Japanese crowds are different than American crowds.
Yeah.
There was about 8,000 there. Just the production in it back. I pretty much knew everybody in the locker room, man. I must have wrestled almost all them guys in the locker room. I can't, man, everybody was cool as hell in that locker room. I get respect everywhere I go just because who I am. But no one was a dick. No one was an asshole. Everybody was cool. Cody was cool. Khan was cool. Jericho was definitely cool. And Danielson was our agent in that match. And he was cool, and it was just an awesome atmosphere. And I got like a little cut, and they sent me to I never had this before. They sent me to the doctors in the back to give me stitches. You get a cut on the independent scene, man. You gotta roll that up some duct tape or put a bandage on it, keep that shut. I was like, I'm good, guys. You don't have to stitch me up. No, sit down, stitch up. It was cool, man. And Britt Baker, that's my girl. So after the match, I was in there. She was sitting in there with me, and everybody knows her boyfriend. And he called me up and just congratulated me. And after the match, Tony Khan got out of his chair and went around the thing because he's sitting in whatever they call that position. It's gorilla in WWE, but something else there. He went around and high-fived me and gave me a hug and thanked me. And then so Jim Ross came up to me and said, that was awesome, kid. Keep working hard, and to have Jim Ross, a guy that's been in this business for all them years, say that to you, it was just a good night, man. It was a good night.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it looked great too. It looked like you really had a good time out there. I mean, you were feeding off that crowd.
Yeah, that's the first time I worked live TV too. So you got so you gotta have your times down, Jonah. So you gotta move fast. And sometimes I want to just, me, I want to go to the crowd.
Right.
I want to start working that crowd. I want to start saying, well, fuck you too. If you don't like me, I don't care. You want to fight. I wanted to do all that stuff. But I always wanted to go on the ramp and walk side to side, go over to the left side and see that big crowd over to the left side, then walk over to the right side and see that big crowd, and then go down the rampway, man. And not only did I do that, I brought on Deathmatch Wrestling, which was all real stuff. The light tubes are real. The glass was real. Everything was real. The pizza cutter was real. So, it made me feel good.
It should.
And
it came off great as a fan. I loved it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people did too. Something with Domino's Pizza with the pizza cutter, though, right? Wasn't there a whole?
How about that, huh? What a coincidence that was. Tony Khan was like, man, don't you guys say anything about Domino's or anything like that. And I'm like, wow, I'm not corny like that, man. I don't really care about that shit. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
I'm carving Jericho up, making him a bloody mess, and here comes a Domino's pizza commercial. That was cool.
Did you obviously MJF, storyline he brought you in? Did you have a lot of interaction with him, or?
Oh yeah, MJF's one of my good friends, man.
Nice.
He pitched the idea. Jericho watched my of course he narrates the Dark Side of the Ring. So he watched that and he just loved my episode. And MJF pitched the how about bring Nick Gage in, and they both loved it, and it was great.
Yeah.
It
was.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was a good moment for me, as I my career. It's up there. I wrestled Chris Jericho, Lionheart, man. It was great. No, go ahead. I was just gonna say I grew up on Chris Jericho, man. I used to watch him when he was in Japan wrestling Pegasus Kid, Benoit, when he was under the mask. I watched him in ECW, and to fast forward all these years later, I'm wrestling him in a death match.
And you brought it to light. Without you, that probably wouldn't have happened. A death match stipulation, at least. You know what I mean?
Well, let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
Let's say Jericho and me in a death match was awesome. Then they try to write Jericho and Kingston in that barbed wire everywhere garbage.
That just can't. Yeah.
That match was sucked. Just call it how I see it. I'm sorry, but if you're gonna get thrown in barbed wire and you have a shirt on, that barbed wire is gonna stick to your shirt. It's gonna rip your shirt. You're not just gonna come off the barbed wire, and then you're gonna get hip tossed into barbed wire and net. Well, you don't lay pads down underneath, But I do like Chris. He was very nice to me. I'll be on the Jericho cruise coming up in 2023. Awesome. Yeah. So I'll be on there, I'm not wrestling. I'm just doing a meet and greet.
You're just taking the cruise, right?
Yeah. I invited my wife. So me and my wife are going to go on the cruise. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's been great. Yeah. So,
Mike, for you, AEW, would you say that's a spot where you'd like to land? Is that a company that piques your interest like that? Or what do you think?
Yeah.
Go on.
Definitely. 100%.
Yeah.
It's I've come to the conclusion that WWE is probably out of the picture. It's just not the direction they're going in, and it's cool that I've accepted something like that. But you never know, never say never. But AEW is definitely the goal, I guess you can say, overall goal. Be on TV every week,
Yeah.
And it's just exciting, It's exciting to watch. It made wrestling on TV exciting again, and it's been a lot of years since I can say that. Mm-hmm. It's the only wrestling I really get excited to watch on TV.
What else has been great is how people are streaming shows now.
Exactly.
So the young talent can. So now you have a streaming show. You have 3 hours to put on a show, and now you gotta learn how to follow your times. You got if you have 9 minutes for a match, you gotta hit your 9 minutes. And what that does is that'll teach you as you keep getting better and better and better on the streaming. So when you get to live TV, you're already good to go.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you what, live TV moves fast. I was like, wow, that's what I like about like wrestling right now, that everybody's streaming. So now, it helps helps the guys out. Before there was no streaming and you get to WWE, you have to like get sent down and learn TV and learn how to do this and learn how to do that when you're kind of already learning independent.
And we'll start to wind it down. A specific question though, because both of you are very into ECW. Nick, a former guest on the show before he passed away, was New Jack, and I've heard a lot of comparisons. I've seen it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on someone like New Jack.
I loved New Jack when he was in ECW. Talk about a guy I actually bought when he wore the New Jack pants and it had Tommy Boy and all that on his pants. Yeah. I actually bought them pants. And then he used to come out with the noose with the fork. Remember that? So I used to sit second row. I had Club ECW tickets. I sat second row, and that noose came by my way, and I stole the noose with the fork. So I ganked it. So I had New Jack's fork and noose whole life. I just loved his promos.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked this time in Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Right.
His promos were so good there. In ECW, I loved everything about the Gangsters when they came in. They came in to face the Public Enemy. They tore Public Enemy up. I loved New Jack. I loved how he dived off of things. Didn't give a fuck.
Didn't care.
Not the best technical wrestler, but he'll hit you with everything in the kitchen sink.
Definitely. Did you ever meet him in the crowd?
I wrestled New Jack.
You did? Okay.
Yes, and I hated the match. I wrestled New Jack at Tremont a 3-way. And New Jack just didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to call nothing. But, who am I to, sit there and freak out on a guy who's got a lot of time, man. I grew up on the old school where you respect the older generation, the vets and stuff like that. So I just let it be. But, when I got in the car driving to that thing, all I kept saying is, I hope New Jack stabs me. I hope New Jack stabs me. That's all I wanted to do was get stabbed by New Jack, but it didn't happen. I just walked around and punched him in his face a million times. Yeah.
Well, I New Jack myself a couple of weeks ago jumping off a balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I spiked my heel and ankle pretty good.
How was that, Billy Mike?
Yeah, it was fun times. I'm still alive.
How high was the balcony?
I don't know exactly, but it was a good maybe 15, 18 feet. It was high. It was a good one.
That's high.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it was solid concrete. So yeah. Didn't think that went through the best, but I'm here. I'm still alive.
Yeah. That's you trying to make a name for yourself. Your adrenaline kicking in.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Nick, I heard you hate heights, right, Nick?
I hate heights. I don't do heights. I'll give you a little story why I hate heights.
Okay.
So I faced my brother at Break the Barrier show. If you ever heard of that before. It was back in 99. We were trying to put CZW on the map. So Break the Barriers was at the ECW arena. Well, first off, I thought ECW arena was like the Mecca. It was the best thing ever. So we're going to get to wrestle at the ECW arena. So what they did is they brought talent from all around the country, you know, on the independent scene, and had matches from different like companies and stuff like that. Well, me and my brother got a match on there for CZW, and we had a ladder match and a ladder staple gun match. Then we climb up on top of the the entranceway at the ECW arena,
Yeah.
and he threw me off, man, and I landed hard. I landed, and I was like, I'm never gonna do this ever again. I'm gonna keep my feet to the ground. I don't do heights.
No,
I don't do.
Not after that.
Like if I'm going to Great Adventure with my friends, and family, I'm the guy sitting on the bench while you guys are on the road.
Yeah.
I'm waving.
You're waving. Yeah, just on the ground.
Yeah,
no
I don't like it.
Ground.
Yeah, my wife's a big roller coaster person, so I just sent one of my friends with her, like, please go ride the ride with her, because I'm not.
Because you're waving a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get into bumper cars and stuff like that.
I'm sure you tear it up in bumper cars. I wouldn't want to be in the other bumper car with you coming
I'm
at
a bumper car guy. I'm going to have a little road rage to get out of the bumper car.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
The last person I want to ask you about, and both of you too, Nick, I'll go to you first, is Mick Foley. Okay. Obviously right there in between you and Moxley and commentated, but I'm sure you've had many run-ins with Mick. Nick, if you want to talk about that, what he means to you.
What Mick Foley means to me is the world, man. Mick Foley is the reason why I love deathmatch wrestling. Mick Foley is the reason why I love wrestling. He is my favorite wrestler of all time. To have him hold up that belt was just a dream come true. And not only that, he is just such a nice guy, man. Like a really good guy, not an asshole in the locker room. He was like fired up for it. And, if I could have another match with anybody, it would be Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, Mankind. I mean, he did it all so well. We got a chance to watch like the Undertaker stuff. Since he's retired, he started coming out with some of his stuff, and just to see how well Cactus Jack did the Mankind character was just unbelievable. And I'm just a big fan of his. And, I wish he had one more in him, because I would love to wrestle him one more time. But, he's doing good. He's
he gave it all. Yeah.
Yeah. And the promos he cut for ECW after he read that sign, King Dewey,
right?
Unbelievable. He joined that Raven faction. He wore the Eric Bischoff shirts, and the promos he was cutting were top notch. And I believe them promos got him into the WWE.
He definitely went to a different place. I think we probably watched the same thing where he was saying his wife would drive him somewhere else, do the promos, and she wouldn't even like the guy she picked up after he already went to that place doing the promos. A completely different person,
Yeah.
It was just crazy. Mike, how about yourself? Just, Mick Foley or ECW in general with Philly Mike, I'm sure plays a big part in your career.
Oh, yeah, easily. Nick was saying, he's running down all the different characters Foley had, to be able to like reinvent yourself multiple times, and all the characters are equally as over as the one before. That just says it all right there. And I always say, like, there's not a lot of matches that like stand out and I can name and like put on a list, but as far as like hardcore matches that always stick in my head is Edge and Mick Foley at WrestleMania. Just because the flaming table spot, I think, is the best table spot, like flaming table spot done in a match. It was just great. It was the story they told, everything to it was top notch, and it was one of my favorites at the time. Edge just going against one of the greatest to ever do it, in Foley. So it was dope, and that's definitely one of the top hardcore matches I would list. Well, yeah, Foley's the man.
I agree. As a fan, I mean, it's so cool to hear your stories, though, both you and Nick. Nick, you've achieved so much in your career, right? And I saw in 2019, I even realized Sports Illustrated, they ranked you 10th wrestler in the world. I mean, that's huge. And all the accomplishments we've talked about throughout the interview. I just want to know what's next for you and how do you want to be remembered?
PWI ranked me #1 independent wrestler last year.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah. So that made me proud. What was your question again, Jonah? What do I want to accomplish?
Yeah, like what's next for Nick Gage? I mean, after all of this.
Oh, I'm about to go on another run, man. And what I want to do, Jonah, and especially at this part of my career, I want to go out there, have fun, tear shit up, have great matches, and enjoy myself. That's what I want to do. And when I do that, man, life is beautiful. Wrestling is just awesome, and that's it, man. I'm an easygoing guy. I don't need a bunch of stuff in my life. All I need is my wife. I need some of my friends, and I need wrestling. And I got all them. So it's just, life is beautiful right now, Jonah. And I want to accomplish, just enjoying life, man, and keep wrestling until I can't wrestle no more. And, repping the MDK gang.
All day. Mike, same question for you. What's on your radar for the future?
I just want to go everywhere. I want to see the world. That's what I keep saying.
That's
I want to wrestle across the whole country. I want to wrestle across the whole world. GCW is going to the UK, going to Japan. I want to go to the UK. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Mexico. Just anywhere I can go and wrestle, that's the goal. It's simple as that. Keep on going. Like Nick says it all the time, he's going to go till the wheels fall off. That's all I'm trying to do, man. Keep on going.
Yeah. And anytime, Billy, Mike, anytime you get a match, and it ain't with nobody, some weirdo or anything like that, legit fucking wrestlers and promoter, you get in that ring, man, and you just keep working hard and perfect your craft, Billy, Mike. Perfect your craft, man. I know you are, man. They always say when you get in the ring, and if you work 100% every time you wrestle, it don't become easier. You just become better. So keep that in mind. Every time you get in the ring, I only have one switch, and it's in go mode switch, man. I only know how to turn it on, and it's to go 100% every time I wrestle. I don't know how to go 80, 85. I don't know how to go into a match and say, you know what, take a little time off in this match. You don't have to go so hard. No, it's 100% every time, every match. So when you can get that an opportunity to make it to the big time and maybe sign a contract to a big company, you'll be ready for it.
Oh yeah.
So any advice I could give to you, Philly Mike, is to keep working hard, stay dedicated, keep them haters out of your life, and every time you can get in that ring and wrestle in front of a crowd, take the match.
Oh yeah. Thank you. I always appreciate it, Nick.
Hey, Philly Mike, I'm there for you, man. You can ask me anything you want when we're in the locker room, when we're anywhere, man. I love this business. I love everything about this business. I love GCW, and I love everybody in GCW. So I'm just, and I am super happy that I am 42 years old and I'm still going strong and I'm still loving this business and it hasn't chewed me up or spit me out or nothing like that. So it's just great. And to watch this young talent like you, Philly Mike, or other people motivates me to stay on top of my game. You know, I feed off you guys as much as you guys feed off of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a pleasure to sit in on this interview. This has been so cool. Thank you both. Nick, you hopped ahead. That was my last question. Was if you had any advice. So you're one step ahead. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
I just want to, Joan. I want to give a shout out to my MDK gang. They mean so much to me. They have my back since day one. I want to give a shout out to my boy 2-6. I want to give a shout out to Sultan and B More. That's Eastern Bloc. And I want to say rest in peace to Big Nate Hatred and my brother Justice Payne. Nashville, we're coming to take over GCW, man.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a fun weekend. So, Jonah, you're a cool dude, man.
Rewind, recap,
Relive for over 50 episodes. The revolutionary force in wrestling interviews.